The King's Speech was one of those films that completely slipped under my radar until a little over a year ago. Before watching it, I've never heard or saw anything about it, nor heard it talked about by the people around me. If this has similarly happened to you, well, you're at least partly in luck, because I'm going to attempt to analyze a few of the main themes from the score. The King's Speech was released in 2010 and starred Colin Firth, Helena Bonham Carter, and Geoffrey Rush. It was directed by Tom Hooper and the score was composed by Alexandre Desplat, who was honestly one of my favorite composers and the reason why I ended up initially watching the film. It follows the true story of the ascension of King George VI, referred to as Bertie by friends and family, to the English throne in the 1930s, and his friendship with Lionel Logue, an Australian Brit speech therapist. Bertie and his wife Elizabeth came to Logue for help with a debilitating stammer Bertie had developed as a young child, since he was now forced to give public speeches broadcasted around the world via radio. Through their growing relationship, both Bertie and Logue became and remained lifelong friends long after King George VI's first wartime speech on the 3rd of September 1939, declaring England at war with Germany not too long before the official start of World War II. The score for the King's Speech is a smaller one in terms of length, it being 41 minutes of music for an hour and 58-minute film, and with an ensemble, which features a pianist and a small chamber orchestra. To try and keep this video under 41 minutes long, I decided to focus on just a few of the cues that are tied more directly to Bertie and his character, and these include the main theme and Bertie's theme itself. The first cue you hear in the film is actually the second track on the album, also entitled The King's Speech, and is played immediately at the start of the film. Desplat explained in an interview once that it was meant to sound playful with an almost childlike quality. This theme is only heard about 2 or so more times in the film. I believe we can look at it as the theme that Bertie should have. This is the theme that we could possibly expect a protagonist to have. It's steady and simple, but still fun to listen to. One curious thing I noticed is that when this theme plays at the beginning of the film, we don't hear a single word from Bertie. In fact, the closer that Bertie comes to speaking for the first time at the Royal Exhibition at Wembley Stadium, the music changes to this. Not exactly the kind of theme you would expect, right? I mean, at least not for a main character. This is Bertie's theme. If the main theme is how the people of England and the world, and possibly the audience, believe a member of the royal household should be, this theme is who Bertie actually is. Desplat mentioned in an interview back in 2011 that the repeated notes on the piano are a musical representation of Bertie's stammer, where he's essentially stuck repeating the same syllable several times. There's almost a whole theme, almost a whole melody. The music wants a whole theme, but doesn't know how to get there. The next cue is a sort of variation on Bertie's theme, and is played when Elizabeth is going to meet Logue for the first time without Bertie knowing. I like to think of this cue as Bertie's theme how Elizabeth could imagine it becoming. She was Bertie's primary source of compassion and comfort. I mean, she wasn't called the Queen Mother for nothing. Well, maybe not for that, but whatever. She believed in Bertie and his stammer being cured. She saw who he was beyond his lack of vocal communication, someone who was very loving to his family with a dry, witty humor, and someone who was incredibly brave and persevering. But Bertie's more fully realized theme doesn't come until closer to the end of the film, about an hour and a half in, when Bertie and Lionel are rehearsing for Bertie's coronation as King George VI. But before we listen to the cue, I want to show you the scene that happens immediately before the music starts. If you have happened to see the film, you already probably know of the importance of this moment, not only between Bertie and Lionel, but within Bertie's character himself.
It'll be like mad King George III. It'll be mad King George the Stammerer, who let his people down so badly in their hour of need. What are you doing? Get up! You can't sit there! Get up!
Why not? It's a chair.
No, that is not a chair. That is St. Edward's chair.
People have carved their names on it.
Chair is the seat on which every king
It's held in
and
place
queen...
by a large rock.
That is the stone of Scone. You are trivializing
you can
everything.
believe
You
that.
trivialize...
I don't care how many royal
Listen to me.
assholes have sat in
Listen
this
to me!
chair.
Listen to me!
Listen to you by what right?
By divine right, if you must. I'm your king.
No, you're not. You told me so yourself. You said you didn't want it. Why should I waste my time listening to
Because
you?
I have a right to be.
Heard
I
what?
have a voice!
Yes, you do. You have such perseverance, Bertie. You're the bravest man I know. You'll make a bloody good king.
Ah, that's just such a wonderful scene. Okay, now for the cue. This is what Bertie Sing was wanting from the start, and with the help and encouraging friendship of Lionel Logue, the music is able to speak without much hesitation. This is also where Bertie and Lionel's friendship really comes together and solidifies into one that would last for the rest of their lives. Of course, there is so much more that I want to talk about with this film, but honestly, the best thing to do is to end here and leave it up to you to go and watch it. There is so much more that one can dig into, even beyond the score. The King's speech touched me in more ways than I could have imagined when first sitting down to watch it. Even after having to watch it several times in a month for this video, I am still learning from the incredible story based on the incredibly real people and real events, whether that's learning something new or further embedding something that I caught before. The thing that probably will stick the most is this quote, which I believe captures the core of the film. And with that, I'll end this video here. If you ever get a chance to watch the King's speech, I very highly recommend and would encourage you to do so. I really think this will remain on my list of favorite films for a very long time, no matter how many times I watch it.